See that top 10 presidents ranking from historians?
No.
Yeah, it dropped on C-SPAN.
Who got number one? Who's the GOAT?
Abe.
Who's number 2?
George. I think it was George. I can't remember 3. I probably should have put it on the outline.
I picture just a bunch of history nerds in a room having a LeBron Jordan debate, trying to see who the GOAT is. Well, it's like, yeah, well, Abe, different eras. You put Obama back then, like, he probably would have done this. Or, George in today's political climate, I don't think he can hang.
Yeah, like FDR couldn't have handled the Civil War, but Abe could have handled World War II. Those are the conversations we're having. Like Abe's competition, like his team was stacked. That's the Warriors going against the Confederates. But George Washington, that was an upset. That's 2016 LeBron against Golden State. Come on, man. There's the LeBron reference. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Soup. I'm Bo Oliver, joined here today with Aaron, the Nerd Soup Monkey, and we are back to talk about the world of Hollywood, movies, TV, video games. Listen to this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and of course, YouTube. And follow us on social media at Nerd Soup, Bo Soup, Nerd Soup Monkey. Like this video and share it and subscribe to our channel and review it and do all that stuff and buy some stickers. I don't know. Got some good ones. Yeah. Aaron, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just recovering.
From the Islanders?
Oh, a lot of different things.
Okay.
That was Islanders was tough, but I don't know. I'm a mess right now.
It's a fun run, though.
My back is killing me. A lot of things going on. But
yeah, I have to actually have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. It's going to be like Andy in Parks and Rec.
Oh, my God.
I'm just going to be like, I got this, I got this, I got this. Fix me.
Yeah. So, but, life goes on with bad back. Hard to walk, but you know what it's like.
Oh, yes. Yes, I do. Herniated discs all over, dude.
I've been walking a lot lately. My legs have been sore, so that's probably not helping to everything. I've been trying to get like 20,000 steps a day. That's a lot of walking.
No, it's a lot of walking.
Little things though, like I walked to get coffee. Not today. I went to Dunkin' today, but sometimes you got to make adjustments.
Yeah, and take a lot of steps while you're walking,
Short steps?
Yeah, short steps.
Yeah, but then you get all thrown off.
Like you're creeping.
Yeah, you don't walk around my neighborhood creeping.
Yeah, tiptoe.
I'm sure that'll be great.
Like you're in Metal Gear. Just don't worry, I'm just getting steps in. Not trying to steal your Amazon packages. Well, speaking of stealing things, the Many Saints of Newark trailer has been released, and we got to watch that a couple days ago. Not my best transition into a story. I don't know why my voice changed.
It's serious. It's the serious topic.
Yeah, it's a serious stuff here. It's a Sopranos prequel.
Allegedly stealing. I don't want to get in trouble with the Many Saints.
Say that again?
Allegedly stealing,
yeah. Right. Yes, and it's the Sopranos sequel. I mean, I made that same mistake. Prequel that is going to be starring James Gandolfini's son. I think his name is Michael Gandolfini, playing a young Tony Soprano set during the late 60s, early 70s. The backdrop is the riots that were happening in New Jersey and the tension between the Italian community and the African-American community. And it involves Tony Soprano's family in a mafia street war. So, I mean, what did you think about the trailer, Aaron? Just first reactions.
It's definitely has a different vibe from the Sopranos series. I think certain aspects might align, but when you're in a movie, you kind of got to stick with something, and that's got to be your main kind of premise and your main kind of tone throughout the film. Whereas a show, you can spread that out and tackle many, many other different things. So, it just seems this movie's gonna be more like a high octane type mafia movie, like you said, with all these different things going on at once. So I think it's gonna be a little bit of a change of pace from what we're used to with the show, but still have that. I hope still have that like Sopranos type feel. I thought the trailer was good. I thought it was something like I didn't really know what to expect, but you got to assume that maybe if it doesn't even reach the quality of the show, that even if it falls a little bit below that, it's still going to be very good.
Right.
The Sopranos is one of the best shows of all time, and I think it's been the mafia mob movie kind of died down recently. I know we had The Irishman, which we both really liked, but other than that, I really can't think of one that was up to the classic ones that we enjoy.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that this is it.
They're kind of like Westerns.
Yeah.
They don't come out as often as they used to. There's so many classics and so many copycats of those classics. a lot of people were afraid that maybe this would be one of them because of that change in tone. But you made the point. You have to stick to a certain tone when it comes to a film. You can't explore the themes that were explored in The Sopranos through a film because it wasn't so much a mafia show. It was more of a family drama.
Yeah.
A dramedy at times because it was very funny, but this is obviously set in the midst of a gang war, so it can be more high octane and a bit more gruesome, move at a quicker pace. So that's kind of why I'm looking forward to it. And just seeing some of these actors, I mean, Vera Farmiga as Tony's mother, one of the greatest television villains of all time. To me, that's such a great casting because you could just see the psychotic nature in that character from that one moment when she's talking to Tony's teacher.
Yeah.
Alessandro Rivola playing Christopher Moltisanti's father, Tony's uncle. That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
I mean, that's going to be my most anticipated dynamic. Yeah, because Dickie and Tony, obviously, it looks like it's kind of that father-son relationship. He's showing him the ropes, which in the show is it's Tony and Chrissy. So,
and that doesn't end so well, right? Isn't there a betrayal?
What?
Not with Tony and Chris.
Oh, I was about to say,
yeah. I mean, spoilers for the show. But isn't there some sort of betrayal where the family backstabs Moltisanti? I think that's how it went down. And then Tony kind of lies to him about who killed him in the show.
There's a lot of different aspects. You
could see the tension, obviously. With I don't know who Ray Liotta's playing. I don't know if that's a relative of Tony's. Is that his grandfather or an uncle?
Yeah, I'm not... It's been so long since I sat down and watched the show all the way through. So little things like that, I really can't piece together in my head right now.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm accurate with that, but I think there was something with the Moltisantis. I mean, somebody made this point on Twitter that Moltisanti translates to English to many saints. So obviously he's going to be the focus. And we saw that in the trailer. Mm-hmm. Like you said, similar relationship that Tony had with Christopher. Seeing Corey Stoll as Uncle Junior, another perfect casting, man. And John Bernthal as Tony's father, the two brothers that ran North Jersey. So I hope that the movie does give us some glimpses of what they were doing in their primes. You know, why were they so feared?
I wonder how many ham-fisted references. I hope there aren't any, but I wonder, sometimes with these type of things, like
we're going to see C-3PO. Tony
goes out, he just sees a duck.
Yeah. Look at I might feed that duck one day.
Dickie's like, hey, this is my son Christopher. It's like, I like Chrissy.
It sounds like a Chrissy. Looks like a Chrissy to me. We did see Chris in one of the shots. He's holding him as a baby. What did you think about Michael Gandolfini playing a young Tony? We don't see him speak much, but he certainly looks the part. I mean, I always enjoy that. Whether if it's someone who's related or if they get an actor who can just really look like the younger version of a character, but from the looks, it's perfect. I mean,
from the looks, it's perfect. Obviously, when trying to cast a younger version of somebody, like if you get their son, that's just natural resemblance there. I think it's a good way to honor James Gandolfini because it's very much his show, and obviously he's no longer with us, and that's a great way to honor not just him but his family, to have his son play that role, his father's iconic role.
Yeah.
And I think that we got to wait to see how he is, how his performance is. But I think that from ever since it was announced that he was cast in this role, I think I've been very had a positive outlook on it. And I think he's got a lot of veteran actors around, a lot of veteran filmmakers. So I'm sure even if he's not. I mean, not many people are as good as James Gandolfini, but even if he can capture 50% of that, I think it'll fit perfectly. Yeah, and we saw it in the show that Tony Soprano dealt with depression. He dealt with several mental issues. So we may see the beginnings of that. He has that scene with his uncle where he says, I can't be doing this. I want to go to college. And that was one of the points that the Sopranos always tried to hammer home, is that Tony, if he wasn't caught up in this mafia life, he just would have been a normal dude when he has that flashback or that dream sequence when he's just Anthony, the accountant, on a business trip or whatever he's doing. So we could see how his family damaged him, how the relationship with his mom was very detrimental to his mental health growing up. I hope that, that he's good enough to portray the complexities of a younger Tony Soprano. I'm really rooting for him. Like you said, when you hear that it's going to be his son,
it's such a great way to honor the character. And of course, bringing back David Chase, who hasn't worked on many films. I think his first debut film was in 2012. So he wrote this one. And Alan Taylor, who's a veteran of HBO television, directed many episodes of Sopranos and Game of Thrones and any other HBO show you want to mention. So it's not like it's being done as like
right. It's Vince Gilligan making El Camino. It's like, do you need it? No, but you trust it because it's coming from him. Obviously, this is a story that they want to tell, and I think you trust that on the merit alone, just from 7 fantastic seasons of television.
Right. And seeing some of the iconic sets, that was cool. Everything just looks exactly the same. And when that music came in at the end, I got chills.
That was the best part of the trailer for me.
Chills in the beginning when you hear Tony's voice.
They made an Oregon.
Get yours. How does that song go? I was going to say, get yourself a gun.
I think it's got
yourself a gun. There you go.
This morning.
Got the blue moon in your eye. I hope they show the towers. Got to show the towers. If your movie is set in New York City with the towers, that's like it's a rule. You got to show the towers.
The Twin Towers.
The Twin Towers. So people, it's the towers. Old folks love doing that. The towers are there. All right, let's move on to the next story here. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is coming in 2022. This is the Nicolas Cage movie in which he's playing Nicolas Cage, who is roped into recreating some of his most iconic moments by an obsessive fan who invites him to his birthday party. And that fan is being played by Pedro Pascal. It's a story that we talked about a couple months ago on the podcast. I can't wait to watch this because it's such a meta commentary on what Nicolas Cage has become to cinephiles. And I mean, he is a household name. Everybody knows Nicolas Cage, right? For a long time, he was one of the biggest actors in the world.
He fascinates me, man. His filmography, his performances, his ability to like be a good actor and be a bad actor. It's amazing.
And I feel like this is going to encompass all of that, this movie. You know, obviously it is super meta. He's playing himself. But I have high hopes for this. I think this could be very funny and enjoyable. It can be insufferable, right? Because
that's the thing. Too much.
You don't want to go too far into it. It depends on, like with every movie, how smart the script actually is.
Yeah.
But when you have somebody like Pedro Pascal who jumps in 150% to every role he's in, you imagine he's going to absolutely nail this.
What do you think his favorite movie is? Nick Cage movie?
National Treasure, right? That's the pick. You know, that's what they're going to do. He's going to set up like some sort of mystery.
Pedro looks like a face-off kind of guy.
I could see that too. What's the movie where he wakes up and he's like a regular dude? He's like a rich Wall Street guy, and then he wakes up and he's just like a middle-class dad, and he hates his life. That was always my favorite because it always made me feel miserable for him. I'm like, man, this sucks. You're down bad. But he learns the values of having a wife and kids, and not everything's money related. Not a great ending.
I mean, Pedro Pascal is definitely, he's had a great few years. Ever since Game of Thrones, really. I mean, that was my introduction to him, but ever since then, I feel like he's just been on the up and up, and for him to keep getting these big roles, and I think that it's a dynamic that I wouldn't have thought of, but now that it's like announced, I'm like, yeah, I think that works.
That's the thing. These two actors, I could picture them having great chemistry, especially in these roles.
Because not many people would be like, you know, who he would work great with? Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. And it's got a release date, April 22nd, 2022. And Neil Patrick Harris and Tiffany Haddish are also going to be appearing in this movie. I like those castings.
I get that.
Yeah, definitely. Tiffany Haddish was hysterical in Bad Trip with Eric Andre. Just one of the funniest movies of the year, and she was just delightful. So I think we're all excited for this. Excited to see where this takes Nick Cage's career.
Well, he's kind of had like in
a way,
but not really.
A few years back,
no one saw Mandy,
right?
But like,
or Joe.
But he's also been in some stinkers. Like he's been in like,
he had a supporting role in Snowden. He was pretty good in.
Yeah, but he's kind of off doing his own thing. But he was kind of good at that,
right?
And like these like out there type films. But he hasn't really been in the like. When's the last movie you've seen being promoted the hell out of,
Right.
starring Nick Cage.
He hasn't had like an Uncut Gems or an Oscar contender. Mandy, people were pushing for Mandy for, I mean, obviously a movie like that's never going to get nominated, but people were saying, hey, look at this. Like we need to bring more attention to what Nick Cage did in this movie. And even a movie like Joe was kind of like Oscar baity. It's a subdued performance, very subtle. He's not going crazy. He's just an old dude named Joe.
Well, like, was it like Kick-Ass? Like the biggest movie he's been in, like, recently?
He was very good in Kick-Ass as well. That's 10 years ago, right?
I'm trying to think, like, but since then, like, what's like the biggest,
Right.
not in terms of like, obviously how good it was, but just popularity.
Right. Those movies that make like 150 to 200 million at the box office. No, he hasn't been in one of those. And for a long time, it was the National Treasure. It's funny because everybody loves National Treasure, but that was sort of, I guess, the beginning of the end when he really descended into making shit movie after shit movie after shit movie. And they were all in that sort of PG to PG-13 realm. Mm-hmm. Like when he did the Witch's Apprentice or the Wizard's Apprentice bullshit.
He's a fascinating career.
Well, they had that whole bit in Community, right?
I guess Into the Spider-Verse. Voice
he was
actor.
very good in that too. Burnt cigarettes to the tip of my fingers to see if I can feel anything. Well, look at that. Next story is Spider-Man news. Moving on from Nick Cage. We got the first looks at Spider-Man's new suits. Looks like he's got 3 different ones.
That black suit is fucking fresh.
Yeah, the black and gold reminds me of Black Panther. Yeah, it is a fresh suit. And we got some looks at Doctor Strange's new suit. This is coming from Funko Toys. Doctor Strange is holding a shovel. What the hell is happening?
He's digging into the multiverse.
Is this a Rick and Morty situation where he's like, they have to go to another universe, kill that Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, bury them in the backyard, and just continue like nothing happened? That'd be dark.
It got real dark, yeah.
What the fuck is going on? We also got to look at Ned and Zendaya. So
my favorite thing is when like new things get released from like
toys
via toys. Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it always seems like they get the rug pulled out from under them. Like Disney didn't want this to be out there, but Funko's just gonna drop it, right? Because sometimes they release major spoilers through the toys.
Yeah.
Like the Tony Stark gauntlet before Endgame. That was out months before the movie came out. And people are sending me like, you seen this toy? You seen this toy? Jesus Christ.
That's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, toys are probably...
big money.
Well,
especially Spider-Man toys.
Oh, yeah, of course. The closer we get, I still can't believe this movie's coming out in December.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like... I don't know.
They've been hightailing, like, they've been pushing these movies out. Look at, like, Guardians, how long, like, it's taken for their trilogy. They started before Spider-Man. They started before Spider-Man was even announced to the MCU.
Yeah, and I think that comes from Sony, where Sony's like, we want to get these movies out. Because they waste no time. We saw with the original Spider-Man, those movies came out in like 3-year intervals. And the Amazing Spider-Man, again, it was, I think, only 3 years between 1 and 2. And they wanted to get 3 out, but they made the deal with Disney. So yeah, no, these movies, I mean, we're going to get 3 movies in a matter of 4 years when it comes to Spider-Man, 4 or 5 years, right? Because 2017, 2019, and now 2021. Yeah, they're pumping these out, man. And they're good. That's the thing. Spider-Man, they always say that Spider-Man makes the most money off screen. The merchandising, the comics. And the last Spider-Man movie finally crossed $1 billion. I imagine with all the cameos in this, with all the hype, I mean, Marvel just keeps growing with hype. Every movie comes out, they just build more goodwill with the fans. And like I said, Spider-Man is so big, this could be $1 billion movie for this year. I really think so.
Oh, I would think so.
Look at the success of Fast 9 and A Quiet Place Part 2. Warner Brothers fucked up dropping Tenet last year. They should have saved it for right now. They had no reason to drop that movie during a pandemic.
Got to keep Nolan happy.
Right. He should have known that, though. Mm-hmm. I guess a lot of people were like, they were so worried that theaters were going to fail, but you didn't help theaters by dropping it in the middle of the pandemic. You really didn't.
They got $30 from me.
$30 from you.
Ticket and popcorn.
That's it. Right. But imagine they would have dropped Tenet right now in the middle of July, it would have made a killing.
Yeah, like nothing, like there's stuff out right now, but nothing I'm like racing to the theater for.
That's the thing. And we're seeing that people want to get to the theater because of the numbers that some of these movies are doing. Tenet would have been They could have redid the marketing, new marketing push. So credit to these studios that Quiet Place Part 2 is a perfect example of that, right? They were going to drop like a week after the pandemic started, and they held it for over a year.
And I'm sure by then, too, like, I doubt we have that Disney Plus simulcast type deal.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Not for a Spider-Man movie. Sony would. That would go to the Supreme Court.
Yeah. Or they just put it on Sony's new streaming service.
Yeah, that
Sony Plus.
What's higher than the Supreme Court? That would go to the Galactic Court. Disney would be Sony Plus. Don't they?
They have a deal with somebody.
Yeah, I think they do. Is it Paramount Plus?
I couldn't tell you.
Too many streaming services. Well, these new suits look cool. Doctor Strange has a shovel. I hope Doctor Strange plays a crucial role in this. I want him to have more screen time than he did in Ragnarok. It's weird because he's going to have Wanda playing a supporting role in his movie. This movie does come out first. Maybe this explains why he wasn't around for WandaVision. Maybe this takes place simultaneously and Doctor Strange had his hands busy with these wacky kids.
He has Loki doing his thing, Wanda going crazy.
He's got a lot of shit to handle.
He's got his own problems to deal with.
Yeah, his hands are still fucked up. He never resolved that issue.
No. Wong?
Smelling coffee. Well, Wong was fighting against Abomination in the Shang-Chi trailer. The hell? How did that happen?
Yeah, he was there supporting his boy.
That's interesting because they usually don't fight villains like that. It's not like a metaphysical threat, Abomination. So how the hell did Wong get roped into that?
It looked like
maybe he needs money.
Event.
Yeah. You think Wong's broke? He's fucking doing fights on the side to make some money.
Yeah, it's like the YouTubers.
That's what's happening in the MCU. It's Wong and Abomination fighting for $2 million.
Jake Paul versus Bucky.
Yeah. I'd pay to see that. His head punched off. Okay, let's move on to the next story here. We have the Tomorrow War first reviews are split right down the middle. I think it's got a 55% on Rotten Tomatoes. Matt Neglia wrote his review on Twitter recently, someone we both follow on Twitter, and he said it had all the makings of a sci-fi classic, but didn't quite get there. And I can see that by this trailer. I mean, it's got classic sci-fi vibes all over it, but, you know, I don't know. Maybe it fell short for some people, and other people enjoyed it.
What's the premise again? Chris Pratt fights wars through time?
There's an alien war in the future, and humanity's about to be wiped out. So they send people
recruit
from the past. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that's a good strategy, but you need bodies, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's more of a body thing. And I read into some of the premise, and it's interesting the way that they deal with time travel. Wrapping my head around time travel is not fun.
Just don't think about it.
No, don't think about it. That's why I love the way that Dark did it, because Dark, obviously it's very confusing, but it makes sense in a way.
Yeah. No.
There's so many goddamn plot holes with time travel stories.
Well, when it's looped like Dark was,
yeah.
It was kind of easier to, because everything was going forward at the same time.
Right. They explain time as infinity.
Yeah. Stop talking about it. My head hurts.
Just keeps going, the same things. But when it comes to like the Tomorrow War is going to have stupid, don't talk to yourself in the future rules.
Now, could you go to the future in a war, go on a computer and see, did I die in this war? Am I alive?
Well, I don't want to answer that.
Just put your name in and see when you die?
That's actually a spoiler of the movie.
Oh,
I read into the premise. Well, not a spoiler, but yeah.
So what? I wouldn't go.
No, you get drafted.
Oh.
So you get thrown to jail. You better have bone spurs.
I mean, I'll go to jail or die.
Dodge the
I'm not
future
fighting
war.
a future war. I'm even fighting the real war now.
I feel like the drafts should, if you're not a good fighter, you shouldn't be able to be drafted. I think the draft should make...
I just won't wear my contacts, and they'll be like, oh, this kid's blind.
Yeah, right.
I don't know why they call me a kid. I'm a 28-year-old man.
I wonder with my herniated discs if I wiggle out of that.
I don't know.
So I got 5 of them.
That's probably good.
Why would you send me to war?
You could draft me. I'm just not going to be very good at it.
Right. Well, I guess when it comes to World War II, you just needed bodies, you know?
Yeah. It's like, oh, who cares if you can't see? Just throw them in the front of Normandy. I would fucking shit my pants in Normandy. I don't know what I would do.
Dude, the first time I saw Saving Private Ryan, that shit scarred me, man. The way when those doors opened the first time,
just poof, 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 poof.
No, let's Tomorrow War.
Even Hacksaw Ridge, man.
My brother-in-law has a story when he saw that in theaters and they throw the stun grenade. You know that on the beach when Tom Hanks can't really hear anything. Said some old lady in the crowd goes, "He can't hear." And that's always stuck with him. The way that old people point out such obvious things in movie theaters is maybe my favorite aspect of the theater experience.
Yeah. I think, like, for me, it's when we saw Phantom Thread and the lady behind us was like, we should have seen Star Wars.
Just in the middle of the movie, just groaning about how they should have saw Star Wars. I love when they read off subtitles, too. I saw Las Vegas with my sister. She loves that movie. She dragged me to...
Sister or old people?
My sister.
Yeah.
She I don't know why she dragged me to see that, but every time a new location popped up on screen, there's this old woman who would say it out loud. Oh, it's amazing.
Oh, man.
The Tomorrow War, though. Good luck.
Good thing theaters are back.
Yeah, Aliens come. Well, does this come out in theaters, or is it just going to be Amazon? Amazon usually does the...
No, I think it's just Amazon.
Wow, look at that. Well, Chris Pratt, good luck, buddy. I hope this really takes off for you.
Speaking of aliens, you like that?
New Wes Anderson movie.
Oh no!
Right, yeah. No, we have a story about aliens. It's not on the outline.
I know. Wes Anderson alien. I can make that connection.
Yeah, let's make that connection because he seems otherworldly. We'll go into that and then we'll go into aliens. It's a quick story. His movie is filming in Spain in September. They changed the location from Rome to Spain. It's starring Tilda Swinton. There's basically...
Really? It's a weird pairing.
Right, yeah, another alien-esque individual.
Tilda Swinton, Wes Anderson? I don't think it's going to work.
People were speculating that this might be a Western because of the desert setting.
Western
Anderson.
Yeah.
He'd be wacky enough to change his name just for shooting this movie. Call me Western Anderson. Like I said, no details.
Just him with a hat.
Just him with a cowboy hat. Cool.
Yeah, I like Wes Anderson.
Like Wesy?
Yeah, I think he's a really good director. And he definitely is very, I think everyone knows his style. But I very much enjoy that style. I find it very entertaining.
Me too.
I think he's a good filmmaker. And I think I'm waiting. I mean, The French Dispatch is probably one of my most anticipated films of this year. So,
yeah, that's coming out at Cannes, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it is.
So yeah, I'm always excited for another Wes Anderson movie. You know,
he doesn't miss.
You know what you get,
and he doesn't miss.
No, he doesn't.
There are plenty of directors that have such a distinct style that they're instantly recognizable, but that doesn't mean every movie is good. All of his movies are good. We always have this conversation that The Isle of Dogs may be his worst movie.
I actually watched that a couple weeks ago.
It's pretty.
I enjoy it.
Good bad movie.
Yeah.
Imagine he's like, I can't even watch this. I won't even put my name to it.
I wonder if there's like one shot that's just a little bit off center that no one notices.
But him?
Yeah, and it just eats him up alive.
It's eating me up, just thinking about how much that would eat him up.
Yeah, I'm going back and rewatching everything.
Yeah, I'm going to look back for every fucking frame just to torture this poor man. All right, let's move on to the alien story. Apparently, Noah Hawley's Aliens movie? Sequel? Series? Mm-hmm. It's not going to be focused on Ripley. It's going to be about something about human resources and what happens when human resources are running out.
But no, I think it's
okay.
Inequality and like what happens if we don't fix inequality now, like what happens in the future, something like along those lines.
Okay.
And I guess that's set within the alien world.
Doesn't sound very scary.
Oh, it is scary.
Inequality?
Yes.
I hope there's a Bernie Sanders character like there was in Succession. Futuristic Bernie Sanders.
I represent 99% of the aliens. Why would you do that, Bernie Sanders?
Yeah, what
the aliens are trying to kill us.
I want the Ripley story. I want the story after Covenant. That's what I want to see the aliens do their alien stuff. And old man or old woman Ripley has to fight one last war to eradicate the aliens. I wanted to see that. I wanted to see old man Ripley versus David. Because Michael Fassbender's David is one of my favorite characters in any franchise ever. I'm maybe one of 7 people that liked Prometheus and Covenant, because usually you liked one or the other or you hated them both. like you enjoyed Prometheus, didn't like Covenant.
No.
Right, because it didn't really expand on the engineer's story.
Which I liked. I think that was very interesting.
Right.
But the way like it
and I want them to expand on what they left off in Covenant, and they're not going to do that.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it kind of strayed away from, the first movie. Like, it's just not this. It's weird how it expanded.
Yes.
From that to where we are now, and it hasn't really been the smoothest like transition to that, but. I think a series, if you can really delve into some of those things, and I think that it's going to. I think like a futuristic society, whether it be inequality in terms of racial, social, or income inequality, like just all those things maybe wrapped together and kind of causing this kind of. Because I do think we get a sense in that world that there is a power balance, or like it seems like there is like a social hierarchy.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the first movie was about these miners who are literally, or the second movie, that they're just sentenced to death because the corporation wants to make more money.
So there is like, that is like established in this universe, and
it's in the Blade Runner universe, and we see it in that universe as well.
So I think you can delve into that, and then you can still have xenomorphs, or I don't know if it's a prequel or a sequel or what they're really going to explore, but I think like that's just.
Sounds like they're going the Last of Us route.
Do you want more Alien in general?
I'm not clamoring for Alien, to tell you the truth. This is his thing. He was the showrunner for Fargo, or still is, and Legion, which many people love. I tried to get into Legion, couldn't finish the first season, but I could see why people liked it so much. It just wasn't for me. Maybe it gets better, I don't know.
Because even like the difference between the first two movies is just like apparent, like really apparent.
Right.
And I feel like that just keeps happening, where they, even though the second one was a little bit like, they expanded on it, but it was still Alien.
Yeah.
And then when you go into Prometheus and Covenant, and it just kind of, it's like expanding the universe and things like that, I feel like it's just, I don't know, maybe just keep it to the Ripley stuff. And I guess they tried that and it failed miserably with the third one, but I don't know.
I would just love to see Sigourney Weaver come back one last time as Ripley. Classic action movie. I love shows with themes like this. Inequality, fantastic. It definitely needs to be fixed.
Inequality, fantastic. I'm going to quote you on that.
Inequality. No, I'm not saying it's fantastic. I'm putting it in quotes.
I'm taking the content.
As a theme.
Removing all context.
That's actually pretty hilarious. I want to just see eye patch Ripley, gray hairs, smoking cigars like Solid Snake when he's older. Metal Gear Solid 4. I want to say, I played Metal Gear Solid 2 recently. I think I played the greatest video game of all time, but we'll get back to the stories. I want to see that. I want to see Ripley versus Alien. Get away from her, you bitch.
Bitch ass.
Again? Yeah, bitch ass in this one. 'Cause she's a little bit older now, you know?
Yeah.
She expanded her vocabulary. But we'll see.
Well, I don't think I'll rewatch the Aliens, all of them. I haven't really watched them in a while. The first two are just fucking classics, though.
They are. Which one's your favorite out of the first two?
I like Aliens. Come on.
Added the S. All right, let's move on to the next story here. We're talking Quentin Tarantino. Talk about another sequel, Kill Bill 3. Maybe in the works, maybe not. He was on Rogan promoting his Once Upon a Time in Hollywood novelization. And he mentioned that the idea of casting Maya Hawke, Uma Thurman's daughter, as a younger version of the bride, or as the bride's daughter, not a younger version, because it would be a sequel, is something that's enticing to him. He hasn't committed to it because he's still committed to the idea of only directing 10 movies, and he hasn't picked which one it will be. I don't know. Would you like this to be his final film, Kill Bill 3, with Maya Hawke? And Vivica A. Fox said that, hey, cast Zendaya as my daughter, and fans seem to love that idea.
That's an interesting, like, if you told me, like, just in general what I want this movie, I would say, fuck yeah, I love Kill Bill. I think, and especially bringing those characters back and having not bringing back, but casting her daughter as her daughter in a movie, I think that's awesome. But when you put it like this being his final movie, then I'm not sure, because it's like we already got Kill Bill, and as much as I like that story, like I would think I would rather something new. If he said he was going to make 12, 13, 14 movies, then yeah, sure, I'd love this to be one of them. But if he's strictly dead set on that, and he has one last movie left, I would want something original. And 30% of his filmography is technically Kill Bill.
Yes. Kill Bill 2 came out, 2004? Because they came out one after the other, right? It's like a year between. Because they were supposed to be one movie.
Yeah.
So it's been 17 years. He hasn't really made an action movie since. So I don't hate the idea of him going back to this franchise. And
action. Pure action, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Django, Inglourious Bastards, but
right,
those
there
are
are
more
moments.
Yeah.
But Kill Bill, I mean, some of those, people love those fight sequences.
Mm-hmm. I used to be deathly scared that someone would hit me in my chest the wrong way and I would just die in 5 steps. And the bury alive scene, fucking, that's my biggest fear to this day. I used to like practice doing the shorthand punch just in case I ever got into a situation where I was buried alive and needed to escape.
Right. That is terrifying.
Yeah.
For me, the choreography, when I went back and watched them recently, it is kind of dated. So I wouldn't hate the idea of him getting maybe like the people from the Raid for Kill Bill 3. And obviously it's bloody, so you know it's going to have blood. But I think that you can make the choreography a bit better. And you would have one of the best trilogies of all time. Maybe that's enticing to him.
Maybe.
Because he's so adamant about doing the 10 films. He wants that clean 10. Like he says, he's going to drop the mic. You have 10 good ones. Also one of the greatest trilogies of all time.
I don't know. It depends. I mean, obviously it's...
That's a perfect casting, obviously. It's her actual daughter.
Whatever we get, I'm sure is going to be great, but I would just rather something new, fresher than... Because we already got it. It's like...
I could see that.
Yeah, it's like, pizza for lunch. You don't want pizza for dinner.
Calzone for dinner? That's even worse.
Yeah. What else did he say on this? Then he get in trouble?
The calzones betrayed me? He didn't get in trouble, but he responded to the criticisms of the Bruce Lee portrayal in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He said that Sharon Lee, Bruce Lee's daughter, has every right to be dissatisfied with the portrayal, but everyone else can suck a D. Those were his words.
Okay.
I don't know how sucking a D. Okay. Why not? But listen, Tarantino takes liberties with history. And sometimes I think why people get frustrated is that he talks as if he is right and there's no room for anyone to challenge his ideas. He claims that Bruce Lee was a dickhead to American stunt workers. I don't mind the portrayal because I don't think it's so negative. I think Bruce Lee was... Like, he comes off as a bit of a dick in the scene, but it's a legitimate gripe that they're having with each other, right? It's nothing too serious.
Yeah.
He's kind of talking down American fighters, and Cliff Booth takes offense to that and catches him off guard.
Yeah, I think, Tarantino... Look, this isn't the first time he's gotten, criticized for speaking. So...
It's not the first time he's gotten criticized for speaking. Well put. That's Tarantino, and he speaks.
Every time it seems like he speaks or something. And sure, I really don't, I don't know. I'm not,
you don't
too
have a stance
familiar.
on this one way or the other.
I'm not too familiar like Bruce Lee or if he was or what he was in real life or... I guess I side with the daughter because who would know better than her? But yeah, I don't know. Tarantino just, stop speaking maybe.
A portrayal of a Hollywood star as a tad arrogant is not so unrealistic to me.
Yeah,
it's not like he was like Bruce Lee was punching puppies and stuff. Like this is how Bruce Lee was on set.
Yeah,
he's a bit arrogant. Okay, that's believable to me. And people were so upset that Cliff Booth beat him in the fight, and Tarantino argued, the fictional character of Cliff Booth is a capable fighter. And you see that in the novel, apparently. Apparently the novel's very good.
Yeah.
Cam is reading it, actually.
I might pick that up.
And he said there was just 15 minutes of the novel are dedicated to Cliff Booth's favorite foreign films. So it's basically Tarantino's favorite foreign films.
That's good. That's cool.
Yeah, so it's just him talking. I've been telling Cam to watch Seven Samurai for years. And he texted me. He's like, I'm going to watch Seven Samurai. Tarantino was talking about it in his new book. I was like, I'll take it. Whatever it is. I hope Tarantino's writing about Bergman in there. So I'd like to read that. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those. Every time Tarantino drops a movie, there's going to be some controversy surrounding it. Always.
Yeah.
That's just who he is. That's the type of art that he makes.
Yeah. But, I
He
mean,
knows how
yeah,
to stir it up.
going back, I mean, he's still one of the best directors of all time, one of my favorites, so I would just like something new from the old Q-Man.
Well, speaking of something new, we have the Green Lantern series. Apparently, there's a rumor that Tobias Menzies, who's known as Edmure Tully to Game of Thrones fans, is in talks to play Sinestro. I like this casting. I like when Game of Thrones supporting actors get more roles because so many of them shined in those supporting roles. I think his scenes as Edmure Tully are great, especially in Season 3. They obviously made him more of a joke character when they brought him back in Season 8. But even that scene in Season 6 that he shares with Jaime is great. When he's talking about Catelyn and he's talking about what type of man Jaime is. So I'd like to see this. I think this would be an interesting casting.
Yeah, I think he's also in The Crown. I think he's one of the... Was he Prince Philip?
Yes, yeah. I think he was in something else recently, too. He's a solid actor.
Yeah, no, he is. And I think that,
Sinestro's a big character, man. That would be a big get for him.
Yeah, I think I'm excited for the Green Lantern. I think it's obviously we haven't had the best live action versions, but I think that it seems like they're going with an expansive type Green Lantern universe, not really set with one character or in one setting. So,
are they dropping a bomb on a town? A couple towns over. What the hell is that? What goes on above my house? Seriously.
Planes.
Get the fuck out of here, airport.
Who played? I'm trying to think. Who?
Mark Strong.
Yes, that's right. And Sinestro's like in the comics, right? He's very anti-hero-esque. He started out
back and forth
as a Green Lantern, then he was a Yellow Lantern, and how many other lanterns are there?
They're the White Lanterns. I think they're Blue Lanterns. It's all different types of emotions.
Yeah.
I think Batman in the comics becomes a White Lantern at one point.
What's that emotion?
Just complete insanity. Like if you're a nutcase, you can be a White Lantern.
So,
it is funny how the Green Lantern ring never went to Batman. Incredible will, but so much other baggage that comes with it.
I wonder if I ever got one.
Yeah, I would never get one because I can't concentrate on anything.
Oh yeah, it'd be terrible. It'd be a mess. I wouldn't know,
I imagine the ring is all instinct, It comes from the heart. And I'm not good at stuff like that. One time I was playing GTA and I was doing a mission and, you had to shoot a target and I was shooting it so accurately, but I was in the zone like they talk about in Soul where you're not really thinking about it. And Nash points out, dude, you're doing really well at this. Threw me off. Couldn't hit the target. And then, of course, they're like, yo, you suck now. Once you I
couldn't tell you how many times I've been reading something. And I'm just I have no idea what I just fucking read.
Oh, dude, I have to reread all the time. You know what helps with that? Audiobooks. I find audiobooks it's easier to focus.
Yeah.
I've made the switch. I once said I never would, but sorry, hardcovers. If I like the audiobook, I'll buy it, the hardcover, just to put it up as a trophy, You read that? Yeah, of course I read that. What the hell were we talking about?
Green Lantern.
Sinestro?
Yeah.
Green Lantern series. I mean, we discussed this on the podcast. We were wondering what the budget is going to be because the CGI in the movie didn't look great. It was 10 years ago. And also you have to be imaginative. So hopefully they went back to the comics and read some of the better ones and get
even
some
just watch the
fucking
animated
ideas.
Movies.
Yeah, watch the animated movies. I mean, like I said, you have to be able to to think of some cool things for this guy to do with his power. I mean, you can literally do anything.
Well, it's going to be, is it Guy Gardner, right? That was the casting?
Right.
The guy from Big Short, American Horror Story. I could see him.
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. No. It's the guy. He's got the face.
Okay, we compared him to Cillian Murphy, right?
Yeah.
You said he was in The Big Short?
Mm-hmm. He's the guy who works with Brad Pitt. He's one of those guys.
Okay, right. Finn Wittrock.
I knew it was Finn. I was going to say Finn Wolfhard, but that's...
He's a kid.
Yeah.
That's when we first talked about the story. We talked about that casting. And I think that's confirmed. That wasn't even a rumor, right?
I think so.
So this one's a rumor.
But isn't Sinestro tied with Hal Jordan, or is that just from incarnations of Hal Jordan? It wasn't always like that? Was he just around for Guy Gardner? Was he just around for Jon Stewart?
I'm not sure.
And they switch it up depending on who's the main Green Lantern in that run?
Yeah, I think it could be a case of that. With Spider-Man, Ned is Miles Morales' best friend. They just use him for Peter Parker. I think it could be a case of that.
Okay.
But I'm not entirely sure. I have to imagine with comic books that everything's been done, right? You could find any type of fucking story when it comes to comics.
That's true.
But yeah, I hope for Tobias Menzies that he gets this role, and I hope he kills it. Game of Thrones alum, always cheer them on. All right, moving on to our final story.
A lot of stories.
Breathe trailer. Don't Breathe 2 trailer. Were you a fan of Don't Breathe 1? The Fede Alvarez horror movie starring Stephen Lang as a blind lunatic who's trying to kill people and do other things.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. The main thing I remember is her feeding his the turkey baster full of his own semen.
Yeah, no, that was
my biggest takeaway.
Disgusting.
So, but I like the concept of that movie. Like flipping it on its head. It's like at first it's these group of kids robbing this poor army veteran who's also blind, but then you realize that has a pregnant woman captured in his basement, and he's artificially trying to have a baby with her. So that was an interesting twist.
Right.
And now he's a hero in this movie. Objectively bad dude in the first one. And this one, we're supposed to root for him.
Yeah, that's the thing.
This should have been...
Is this a sequel or a prequel?
They burned his house down.
Okay.
In the trailer. And he's in the house in the first one. So unless he got it rebuilt exactly the same way.
There's no way he got that house rebuilt. And the whole thing was like he was like an army vet, right? And that's why he had all the money. They're always army vets. They always have military training.
But like, who is this kid?
Granddaughter.
Because his daughter's dead. She died in a car accident. Then he kidnapped the person who killed her in the car accident.
Right.
But she's pregnant, so maybe that's I don't know. But he's like an objectively like terrible person. You know? So why like I guess you root for the little kid in this one because she doesn't know what's going on. But like I don't get like this kind of, are they trying to redeem him in this?
Maybe it won't be that simple. It's just a good
usually,
horror movie.
If it was opposite, the prequel, you know, that's been done a lot, especially recently. Cruella, Joker, it's like you get the story of before they really got to be the truly evil or bad people they are, and you kind of like go on that journey, and it's interesting to see what made these characters the way they are, the way we know them. And I'm not saying this character is like iconic like Joker or like Cruella, but I think if you wanted to go that route, maybe. But this one, it's like we already know he's kind of he is like a scumbag, but now he's like in his own Taken arc.
I think that's always fun for the audience when we know the true secrets because we saw the first movie.
Yeah.
So we're going to have conflicting allegiances here because we're going to be scared for him. He's obviously going to be the protagonist. Going to be scared for the little girl because she doesn't even realize who the fuck her mentor, babysitter, I don't know who the hell. Maybe he's like trying to train a successor. Like Batman Beyond, you know? You gotta be a
successor to what?
Being a blind guy in a house with a safe full of money. If you ever get attacked, you know?
Yeah, sure.
You know how these movies go. Don't Breathe 3. All of a sudden, it's the girl now. And she's going to be thankful that she learned those lessons. I think the movie looks incredible in terms of like the visuals. Some of these shots were fantastic.
No, it's very...
And the cinematography in the first movie, you know, the way that the movie was shot was scary. And obviously, you know, the premise of having this guy stalk you around the house is terrifying. But yeah, we're going to have... Fede Alvarez isn't directing this one.
Producing.
Yeah, he's producing. When it comes to horror, when the director of a good horror movie
starts
moves to the producing role,
doesn't work out.
Yeah, usually doesn't work out. But I thought this was a good trailer. I'm excited for this. I genuinely am excited to see this because I really enjoyed the first one. It was scary as fuck, and Stephen Lang to me is a treasure. I love that guy. Should have been Cable.
Yeah, and I mean you don't have to root for every character that is portrayed in a film. You don't have to like sympathize, or you don't have to necessarily like, they don't have to be like the best person to make a good film around it. I just think it's a weird turn. Like I feel like if this was just separate from that, and like the premise there is good, like a Taken style journey, but with like someone who can't see, but uses the resources that he has and other senses to kind of overcome and succeed. I think that's a cool premise.
We shall see.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to fan questions.
That's for the fan to decide.
Yay! People you call up to the show, you better be ready. That's what you're supposed to do. Sitting there arguing and you're trying to spell your name and all of this other stuff. It's not your show, it's my show. I'm giving you the opportunity to speak your mind. Don't call up here unless you got something to say.
This question here from B. May F. Them Islanders, though. Not really a question.
Yeah, you could skip
Just
that.
trying to irk you.
Yeah, it's fine.
It was tough, right? But solid run.
Yeah.
You make it to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
We only made it to Game 6 last year, so...
Of the Eastern Conference Finals?
So if we're trending, like, so next year we're going to be in the Stanley Cup.
Yeah. Right.
That's
One game at a time.
That's how it works.
This question here from EZ_T13. Expectations for Cowboy Bebop live action. We didn't talk about this when they released it, but they announced that the original composer from the anime was coming back for the live action series. And to me, that's just a great sign. When you're bringing back some of the OGs that made that series so iconic, and the music was one of the most important parts of the show. The opening theme is iconic, and just the jazzy flavor throughout is just so cool. So my expectations are a bit higher after seeing that news and seeing the cast rocking to the music. They still haven't casted Radical Edward, my favorite character. I really hope they don't cut her out. She's a child, so you know how movies and shows, they love cutting out the kids.
How anime live action adaptations don't have the best track record. Am I right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's like video games.
I saw like on YouTube, one of my recommended was like someone reviewing. Apparently there's like an Attack on Titan live action movie.
Yeah, I think there was.
And I was just watching the person react to it. And that looks fucking terrible.
Well, Full Metal Alchemist had a live action movie a few years back, often considered the best anime of all time by many, arguably. And terrible. You know, it's absolutely dreadful. The Death Note Netflix movie was horrific. Cowboy Bebop, the reason why I think it will translate better to live action is that there are so many film influences apparent in the series. Mm-hmm. Every episode is a new adventure.
It's a short series too, right?
It's a short series. It's only 26 episodes, and the themes are constantly changing. One episode's sci-fi. One episode is a noir. Another episode's a western. And the influences it's the anime for cinephiles, really. Mm-hmm. And it's the themes they're adult themes. It's about your place in the world and loneliness and existentialism. I think that will translate well to live action audiences. So my expectations have been lifted.
Who's playing the cowboy?
John Cho.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who's
John
playing
Cho's
the
playing
bebop?
the bebop's the music.
Oh.
The jazz.
Oh, wow.
This question here from Jeremy Ellis. Thoughts on Australian cinema? You know what? I haven't seen many Australian movies. I feel like we don't get a lot of Australian movies.
There are probably
more
some
Australian actors, I feel like.
Yeah, directors and things like that. I don't know if you consider that. Like, do you consider a Denis Villeneuve movie Canadian cinema?
No. Like Crocodile Dundee, I guess, is... I think it's Australian and American.
One of my favorite Modern Family jokes is when Phil, I think they're going to Australia. He's like, it's finally my chance to be Crocodile Dundee. Or something like that.
I do love that fucking movie.
Crocodile Dundee?
Yeah.
That's not a knife.
This is also a knife.
Well, I'm sure there's some movies that you've seen that you're like, oh, that's Australian.
Right. It's more so that I just don't remember, you know? This question here.
Chris Hemsworth's Australian.
Right, he is.
Margot Robbie?
Australian. You got hands?
That's obnoxious.
What?
Just
my spot-on Australian accent?
No, just your exports being Margot Robbie and Chris Hemsworth. It's like, all right, we get it.
Yeah, Jesus fucking Christ. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
And they're pumping out. New Zealand's got some bangers, too.
Are they New Zealand? I get those two confused.
I think... No, they're both from Australia.
Okay.
Taika's from New Zealand.
Ah, yes.
Going on a big ship. Want to come? This question here from Sarah MS218. Excited for Dune? ? Just started listening to the audiobook. Oh yeah, most anticipated movie of the year.
Hell yeah.
From the Soup Fellas. Hope you're enjoying that book. I know Teddy's not. This question here from Overnight Doorman. Best snack to watch movies at home?
I don't really eat popcorn anymore, so I've been going edamame. It's a good movie snack. Because
What the hell is that?
It's like, you ever go to like a Japanese restaurant and you get like the little bean pods
Okay.
and you pop them?
No.
They're like, it's edamame.
I've never had that.
It'll change your life.
Yeah, I just had boba for the first time yesterday. You ever have boba?
No.
Yeah, little balls, similar. Little boba balls. They call them bubbles.
It's like a green bean, but it's not. But it's better. It's like little beans you pop in.
I like beans.
Yeah.
You know what I really like? Raisins. That's my movie snack.
Raisins. I mean, popcorn's the goat, but
Yeah, of course it is.
too much going on there.
You know what's good with a movie? Taco Bell. Whenever I want to have like a Taco Bell night, throw on a movie and get a chicken quesadilla.
I used to my favorite thing to do was to pick a movie, like if it was just Lord of the Rings, and just get a shit ton of food that would last me all 3 hours. And I would just feast, but
Yeah.
now it's just edamame.
Yeah, now she said edamame. This question here from Slurms.
I like a sour candy too. If in my heyday, popcorn or sour candy.
Popcorn and chocolate was always my favorite. From Slurms Mackenzie, favorite N64 video game?
That's got to be Smash, right? I was a big fan of Mario Tennis. Untouchable.
I love Mario Tennis.
Waluigi in that is probably one of the best video game characters of all time.
Super Smash Brothers N64, I mean, the memories from childhood, the memories from a couple of years ago when we all used to play obsessively. My favorite game, though, will always be Banjo-Kazooie. The sentimentality of that game, it's a game I used to play with my dad all the time, and I still think it's a great puzzle game. It's one of the all-time great puzzle games. 2 is even harder. You legit need like a photographic memory to beat Banjo-Kazooie 2. So, yeah, I'll put that as my number one.
GoldenEye was fun.
GoldenEye at the time was so fun, man. You get so much nostalgia from those. I mean, Mario Party, thinking of the times playing that as a kid. Mario Party 2, Mario Party 3. They go back and forth with which one I consider the best.
It's all about the mini games.
Yeah. Those mini games are so fucking fun. I love Mario Party. We should...
I'll be down.
Yeah. For money.
Hell yeah, I'll throw 50 on it. That's a game too, like anyone can win. You can just land and get a star. That'd be the worst.
I know,
you can
man.
steal stars.
Yeah. Well, the judges at the end are great, man. Like when you think you've built your case enough to win and you don't get picked. That's those are the fucking best. I love it when everyone's convinced one person's gonna win and the judge is like, nope. It's awesome. This question here from Diego Carmargo. Favorite superhero of all time and what is your favorite adaptation of them? Well, for me, it's Batman.
Yeah, it's Batman.
And my favorite adaptation of Batman, I'll go Mask of the Phantasm. Because it's got Conroy. My favorite Batman, I still think he's the best. It's, obviously related to the animated series. And it's a great, great movie.
Yeah.
But for live action, I would go Ben Affleck's.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's the best live action Batman. Even if I don't love those movies.
I agree.
You see him in those scenes when he's just standing with Superman when he buys back his house. Mm-hmm. It's like, that's fucking Batman, And same thing with Henry Cavill with Superman.
Yeah, I'd go Batman, and then probably... I'm trying to think what animated movie I like him in. I love him in... what's it called? Why can't I think of the title? Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight Returns.
Oh, yeah. That's a fun one.
I just think
I love the voiceover there too.
Yeah, I just love that scene when he just absolutely babies Superman.
Yeah, that shit is fun actually. Superman's a fucking menace in that movie. Working for Reagan.
It's just like, I want you to remember the one man who beat you. I'm like, I love a cocky Batman.
It's a shame they didn't put that in the movie.
Yeah.
This question here from Matt Sampson. Who has the smoothest jump shot of all time? Smoothest jump shot. I love me a Michael Jordan fadeaway. To me, that's my favorite shot to watch.
Nothing better than like an aesthetic sports skill.
I think Carmelo's got a smooth jumper. Carmelo from the mid-range. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Klay Thompson's got the picture-perfect jumper. Mm-hmm. Jordan's mid-range was just fucking... That's a work of art.
Just got so high on that, too.
Yeah, dude. And the efficiency with that shot, I mean, some of those efficiency numbers from the mid-range for him were ridiculous, dude. He was shooting like 49% on mid-range jumpers in his prime.
Analytics say no.
It's so stupid.
Don't take the
The
mid-range.
analytics against the mid-range jumper are so... You see it
Melo wouldn't have a career.
Right. Yeah. Every year you see in the playoffs how valuable that shot is.
Yeah.
Because defenses are more intense and they're taking away the two most valuable shots, the three and the drive.
Mm-hmm.
So what's there left? The fucking mid-range. I can't stand these nerds trying to take away the mid-range, but it's been decades that they've gone away from that shot.
Is Ken Griffey's swing the smoothest
That's a smooth
athletic
ass.
movement throughout all sports?
Maybe. I used to love Robinson Cano's swing too. The lefty swings are always prettier.
Yeah, 100%. But I think Ken Griffey is like the smoothest, like, better than like smooth, pound for pound, like just smoother than anybody's shot or anybody's throw or anything.
Right. I'm trying to think of like Aaron Rodgers throwing a football is pretty to watch.
Mm-hmm.
He's always got those frozen fucking ropes, man.
Tight ass spirals.
Yeah. He's so goddamn accurate. Lionel Messi dribbling.
Like,
I mean,
someone's like finesse shot or something like that.
that's the thing. That's why when they call soccer the beautiful game, that sport has the most aesthetic. When you watch somebody take on like 4 or 5 defenders and just zip through them, there's nothing prettier in sports than watching a one-man show on the soccer field, or even the passing, you know, when that ball zips around. This question here from Ali_B. Is Trae Young actually the truth? Should Nash take back his words? Are Knicks fans salty?
What did Nash say?
He hates Trae Young.
Of course he does.
See, the NBA fan like Nash, he irks me because he likes being right about his takes. So when he's being proven
everyone
wrong,
does.
yeah, but yeah, no, that's a big problem.
He doesn't admit that he's wrong.
Right, you do it as well, but you're not as interested in the NBA as Nash anymore. So you guys don't have those back and forths.
Yeah.
But you know, we're the same way with Rondo and Harden, and you claim that you're right because Rondo won the chip last year.
Yeah.
Playoff Rondo.
He's got 2 chips.
I mean, Trae Young, no, he's the truth, man. And listen, you could say the competition's maybe not as great in the East, but dude, he's had a hell of a run. It's a shame that he got hurt. It's reminiscent of 01 Iverson.
And this postseason alone, it went from what a terrible trade for the Hawks to like, no, it worked out for both.
You could still say you would take Luka, but it's not a bad consolation prize having Trae Young. I mean, to call him the next Steph Curry is a bit premature. He's not as accurate. I don't think he ever will be. But he's a better playmaker than Steph Curry ever was. He's a legitimate elite playmaker.
Well,
he
he's
will
just
carve up your defense.
like, I mean, I guess Nash and like Knicks fans hate him because of his bravado and how he acts on the court in terms of like his cockiness and kind of playing the villain. But that's great for, I think, the NBA. Great for the Hawks. Great for his brand. Great for everything.
Yeah, definitely. The way that he's embraced it. I mean, the confidence
The
just...
shimmy before the 3, like
Yeah, that was awesome.
that's awesome.
He was fucking murdering them in that game, man. Yeah, that was an amazing third quarter.
It sucks that he's hurt.
It sucks that he's hurt. I mean, these playoffs, it seems like every series, the best player on either team gets hurt. It's a shame, definitely. But he's the truth, man. He's definitely the truth. This question here from Van Poe, best Darren Aronofsky movie. I still think it's The Wrestler.
Really?
Yeah, The Wrestler to me it's one of my favorite movies of all time. That's a 10 out of 10, 5 stars on Letterboxd.
You don't like Mother?
No, I didn't. Famously, that's the lowest score I've ever given, right?
You give it a 0?
I think I gave it a 1.
I don't think I rated it.
You liked Mother, though.
I knew I liked it, but I didn't give it a rating.
You didn't need to rewatch it and give it a rating.
I don't think I want to rewatch it.
That movie's a fucking headache. I think you've seen Twin Peaks since then, so you're like, I got the better version of this.
It's probably like Black Swan. I really like that movie.
Yeah. Did you ever see his first movie, Pi?
No, I haven't.
Good movie.
3.14. That's all I got.
Yeah, it's about a dude who's trying to like... Requiem for a Dream is a movie. Good movie. I'll never watch that again. I could barely finish that fucking movie.
Requiem for a Dream?
Yeah, that ending is brutal.
I always like...
Especially when you know people who have gone through stuff like that. Like Teddy couldn't watch Beautiful Boy, you know?
Yeah. I think that like... It's always weird. Like when you watch like a great movie, but like, you know, it's like, I never want to watch that again. It's always like a weird kind of...
I had that a few months ago in Arito's movie, Amoros Perros. It's a movie that it's 3 separate stories that all feature dogs in some way, and I'll never watch it again. Ever. Great movie. And I bought it on Blu-ray before watching it. Big mistake. Because I wouldn't have bought it if I watched it on like streaming. But now I just own this movie. Every time I see it, I'm going to get PTSD. It's a good cover though.
Why do you make Noah?
I like Noah. It's like a superhero movie about Noah. And Emma Watson. This question here from _Nicoloso_. Most underrated New York rapper. I would say Ghostface Killah. That's a good choice. I mean, Wu-Tang, they all kind of get grouped together. And the most acclaimed out of Wu-Tang is, not the most acclaimed, but I guess the most famous would be Method Man. Mm-hmm. So I think Ghostface is so influential. So that's why I think he's underrated. And people don't give him his flowers enough. But it's hard for me to say anyone in Wu-Tang is underrated. I mean, hip-hop heads know who Mos Def is, but you don't hear his name a lot when it comes to all-time greats, and he should be in those conversations. And obviously, I mean, he's like never in the spotlight. I don't even know if he's in South Africa still.
Yeah. I mean, you think of guys like...
We don't have... New York rappers are like a thing of the past, unless they come from Buffalo.
Yeah. You could say like, I guess maybe... Just trying to think. Like, guys like Q-Tip, like who...
Right.
Very good, but maybe are not as mainstream as...
He gets a lot of indie cred.
Yeah.
He doesn't get that because he's a great lyricist. Mm-hmm. I mean, he should be in those conversations as one of the all-time just great rappers. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good pick. This question here from Kian Grismore. Which movie scores had the biggest impacts on the movies they were in? And what is your favorite score? Obvious answer is Star Wars. Star Wars isn't Star Wars today without that score. It truly isn't. And the way that so many geniuses came together to make that movie still blows my mind to the day. The definition of lightning in a bottle when it comes to filmmaking. But it's got to be Star Wars. I mean, maybe Bernard Herrmann's score in Psycho. Obviously iconic as well.
Yeah.
John Williams has so many. Jaws. That's one that made such an impact on that movie. Again, without that score, maybe it's not as scary. The da-na, da-na,
does add to it.
Yeah.
I think... I mean, yeah, the big ones. Like Lord of the Rings, I feel like they hit the emotional cues very well when that soft kind of optimistic music comes in at the right time. They do a great job of transitioning from the doom and gloom to that optimistic feel.
Yes.
And I think that works very well with that film. But even think of things like just Halloween, just like when you think of certain movies like that and that score goes immediately into your mind. It's like things like that, it's like maybe
This is that new Michael Myers.
Yeah. It's like maybe like the great films and the classics, if the score was a little different, if it, maybe didn't hit all the beats that it originally does, like I think the movies would still be good, but I think like you said with Jaws and things like Halloween, when that just becomes so synonymous with the film itself that I don't know. Like, you can't think of those movies without that score.
I think Godfather's a good example of a movie that if it didn't have that theme, which has become iconic, it would still be considered the greatest of all time. If it was a lesser theme, we wouldn't know any better. That's kind of just the cherry on top. The da-na-na-na.
I think soundtracks are more noticeable when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Like
definitely.
Guardian's soundtrack, perfect. Like
Right.
that adds...
Cruella soundtrack, pretty bad.
Yeah.
Took away from the movie.
Oh, you didn't like the soundtrack?
No, didn't mind the songs, but too many cues. Mm-hmm. It was every 5 minutes there was a montage of her doing. I just wanted to watch the movie because I was enjoying the character so much. I like the Talking Heads cue though.
Yeah, it was good.
Not
Or
the
like-
Talking Heads. No.
What song?
Time of the Season.
Oh, I don't know.
I forget what band that is.
I didn't know what you were talking about at the beginning. I just agreed with you.
It's the time of the season. The Zombies.
But I wonder what...
Blade Runner's got a good one. The way they reworked it for the sequel was actually, it really hits in that final scene when he's catching the snowflakes.
I think a lot of times score is more... if you're not actively looking for it, it can be something that a lot of people don't really notice on the first go around. It's more of like a subconscious, like when you really, really dive into it, it's like, oh, I really like that scene. Then you think about the music and the setting, and that's when you start really noticing things like the score in like most films. Soundtrack is more apparent.
Yeah.
It's like Hooked on a Feeling. Oh, I love that song.
Yeah.
It's a great song, and that's kind of with the vibe, and it says all you need about the character right then and there. So they implement them. A lot of the good filmmakers implement them in different ways and can obviously there's different responses from the audience from, I think, each one. But
that's why it works so well in Guardians, because every song has become synonymous with the scene. Every choice was just perfect. It doesn't matter if the song and what's happening in the scene aren't necessarily similar. It's just about matching those vibes. And I felt like Cruella didn't do a great job of that. But like Pina Colada coming in when Star-Lord's flying to the ship and Drax says, "Behold," that's art, man.
Yeah.
That's fucking poetry.
I've actually been talking about this movie a lot, 2001. I mean...
Oh, yeah. I mean, Kubrick was...
I think that's the best use of, like...
That's a great pick. Actually, that might be the best pick. Bum, 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 bum.
That's awesome, just using, like...
Yeah.
Like, soundtrack now is just more lyrical, but him taking those classics and putting him in that film, I think, is one of the...
His reasoning for it is so funny.
Yeah.
He's like, modern composers are good, but they're not Mozart.
Yeah.
He basically just said that.
So yeah, like
I mean, he used from like 4 different composers in that film. So yeah, that actually, 2001. Look at that. Finished the podcast with a good question, good answer, good analysis there from you.
Thanks.
All right, guys, that's the next
that
podcast.
Stomach roll?
Yeah, I did. You need a bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll.
No,
maybe 2.
I've been trying intermittent fasting.
I tried that the other day, and I made it to like 9 o'clock and ate a Pop-Tart.
It's not going well for me.
Well, what I did was at noon, because it's lunch to lunch, right? They say with intermittent fasting. I had a nice shake. Mm-hmm. I thought this is gonna hold me over.
Like a milkshake or like a protein shake?
No, sorry, not a shake, a smoothie. Tropical smoothie, mangoes, and they put a probiotic in it. Actually, can add it for like $1. It's pretty funny. Nice stomach bacteria to clean out the old gut.
Yeah.
How'd that probiotic work for you the other day? Did you notice a difference?
I think I took it, but like I was naturally going to feel better in that time.
It was a placebo.
I don't know. Maybe that's what did it.
Yeah.
I was just so I'm probably going to not do it. I'm just going to eat.
Yeah, go eat. Fasting's not good for you.
Every now and then I like to switch it up a little.
Yeah, they say it's
keep my body guessing.
Right. All right, guys, come back next week and listen to us again because we'll be here. We'll be doing podcasts. That's all we do. Just stay in this room until it's time to record. That's why we always drop them in frequently.
I wish I can
fly.
No, if there was like a pod that you can go in and set a timer, what would you do? Like you can just go in like 2 days, wake up. Would you ever use it?
Oh yeah, 100%.
What's the longest you would spend in that pod?
Weeks, months. I come out on the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'd take a year off.
Would you hit like Dune pod?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Wake me up when Dune's out. I would be podding for everything. Just be immortal in my pod until movies come out. I wouldn't die until like 4023.
Seen every fucking movie.
Yeah. When I'm watching Jaws 27.
Damn. We were making some good points in that video. Hey guys, Aaron and Nerd Suit Monkey here. Before we end this video, I want to give a quick shout out to our Patreon supporters. What can I say about you guys that I haven't already said about myself? You are the most important part of the channel and the main reason we keep going strong. Like Bo says, you keep the lights on in the fridge so the fridge is full. Or something like that. So, from everyone here at Nerd Soup, I'd like to thank you guys for your continued support. If you're interested in joining the ranks of our patron supporters, head over to patreon.com/nerdsoup and check out the rewards we offer to our patrons. We recently dropped some new stickers for you guys to check out, or you could choose a tier that will allow you to select a movie, show, or video game for us to review. We've got a full slate of fan-suggested reviews coming your way, and we're really excited about the chance to review some of those movies and shows. We've also got t-shirts, mugs, behind-the-scenes videos showing how we bring our videos to life. And once again, thank you to all our Patreon pledgers who have been supporting us throughout the years. Without you, we wouldn't be able to convert all your pledges into cryptocurrency, so thank you from my future self for making us rich.